Welcome to Prepper Items, where we explore everything from essential supplies and survival gear to strategies and solutions for being prepared for any situation. When you think about prepping, you're probably thinking about stockpiling food, water, maybe some first aid, and yeah, those are important. But today we're diving deep into a side of prepping you might not expect, the often overlooked world of office supplies. Yeah, you heard that right, office supplies. Because in a grid-down situation, organization and information are just as vital as beans and bandages. So stay tuned as we break down 8 essential office supplies every prepper needs, and why they might just be the key to staying ahead of the curve. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future prepper tips. First up, the unsung hero of any prepper stash, the label maker. Now I know what you're thinking, it's just a label maker. But trust me, this little tool is a game changer. Think about it. In an emergency situation, you don't want to be rummaging through unmarked boxes trying to find what you need. A good label maker lets you clearly categorize and identify everything. Whether it's your food storage, medical supplies, or even just spare parts, you know exactly what's in each container with a quick glance. Plus, it just looks way more organized. And who doesn't love a bit of order in their life, right? Now there are tons of label makers out there, from basic models to ones with all the bells and whistles. You've got your thermal printers, your Bluetooth-enabled ones, even some that print in multiple colors. It's all about finding what works best for you and your budget. But honestly, even a basic model is going to be a huge upgrade over handwritten labels that fade or smudge. And let's be real, nobody has time for that. So, invest in a solid label maker, your future self will thank you. Of course, a label maker is nothing without its trusty sidekick, labels. And I'm not talking about those flimsy paper ones that rip as soon as you look at them. We're talking durable, weather-resistant labels that can withstand the test of time, and maybe even a natural disaster or two. Think about it, you've got your preps all organized, but then a pipe bursts, or there's a leak in the roof. Now your labels are soaked, illegible, and basically useless. That's why it's so important to invest in labels that are up to the task. Look for labels that are water-resistant, tear-resistant, and maybe even UV-resistant if you're storing things outdoors. There are tons of options out there, so you're sure to find something that fits your needs. And don't be afraid to get creative with your labeling system. Use different colors for different categories, add dates, or even little icons to make things super clear. Remember, the more organized you are, the better prepared you'll be when it matters most. Alright, let's talk about something so basic yet so crucial it often gets overlooked. Printer paper. I know it's not the sexiest prepper item out there, but trust me, you're going to want a good supply of it when the grid goes down. Think about all the important documents you might need in an emergency situation. Maps, contact information, medical records, instructions for your gear, the list goes on. And sure, you could store all of this digitally, but what happens when the power's out and your devices are dead? Where good old-fashioned printer paper comes in. Having hard copies of your essential documents ensures that you have access to them no matter what. Plus, you can always use it for note-taking, writing messages, or even just entertaining yourself if you're stuck inside for a while. Now, I'm not saying you need to go out and buy a lifetime supply of paper, but having a couple of reams on hand is definitely a smart move. It's inexpensive, easy to store, and could make a big difference when it comes to staying informed and organized in an emergency. Next up, binders. So, you've got your documents printed out, now what? You're going to need a way to keep them organized and easily accessible, and that's where binders come in. Think of them like your portable filing cabinets, keeping all your vital information in one place. You can create different sections for different categories like medical, financial, communication, and so on. This makes it super easy to find what you need when you need it, without having to dig through piles of loose papers. And the beauty of binders is their versatility. You can add page protectors for important documents, use dividers to create subcategories, and even store smaller items like pens, pencils, and notepads in the binder pockets. Plus, they're relatively inexpensive and easy to store. Just stack them up on a shelf or in a storage bin and you're good to go. So don't underestimate the power of a good binder. It might just be your best friend in a crisis. Let's move on to shelving units, the backbone of your prepper storage. Let's face it, prepping often means accumulating a fair amount of stuff, and if you're not careful, things can get out of hand pretty quickly. That's why having a solid shelving system is key to keeping your prepper stash organized and accessible. Whether you've got a dedicated prepper pantry, a basement storage area, or even just a spare closet, Shelving units can maximize your space and make it easy to see what you have. No more digging through boxes or playing Tetris every time you need something. There are tons of shelving options out there, from heavy-duty metal units to more lightweight plastic ones. Consider what you'll be storing and the weight capacity you need. Adjustable shelves are always a bonus, as they allow you to customize the height to fit different sized items. And don't forget about vertical space. Utilize the full height of your storage area by stacking shelves high. Just make sure to keep heavier items on the lower shelves for safety. Remember, a well-organized prepper stash is a happy prepper stash. Next in line, highlighters, the power of bright ink. When it comes to prepping, sometimes you need something a little more noticeable than a pencil. That's where highlighters come in handy. Whether you're highlighting sections in a manual, marking dates on a calendar, or just emphasizing important notes, a good set of highlighters is a must-have. Look for highlighters with bright, fade-resistant ink that can withstand moisture and temperature changes. You don't want your highlights smudging or disappearing just when you need them most. Fine-tip highlighters are great for detailed marking, while chisel-tip highlighters are ideal for larger text or marking on rough surfaces. And don't be afraid to get colorful. Using different colored highlighters can be a great way to create a visual organization system. For example, you could use red for medical information, green for food-related notes, and blue for water-related information. Remember, prepping isn't just about having the right supplies, it's about having access to them when you need them. And that often means having a way to quickly and easily identify what you have. So stock up on some quality highlighters and get marking. Now let's talk about notebooks, your analog brain dump. In a world dominated by digital devices, it's easy to forget the simple power of a good notebook. But when the grid goes down and your electronics are useless, a trusty notebook becomes your lifeline to information, planning, and even just a little mental clarity. Think about it, you can use a notebook to jot down important information like contact numbers, addresses, or even just a running inventory of your supplies. You can sketch out maps, create to-do lists, or even just journal your experiences. And unlike your phone or laptop, a notebook doesn't need batteries or an internet connection. It's always there for you, ready to capture your thoughts, ideas, and observations. Plus, there's something incredibly satisfying about putting pen to paper, wouldn't you agree? So don't underestimate the power of a simple notebook. Keep a few stashed around your house, in your car, and with your bug-out bag. You never know when inspiration might strike, or when you might need to access vital information offline. Up next, sticky notes. Small but mighty reminders. They might seem insignificant, but sticky notes can be surprisingly useful in a prepping context. Think of them like little reminders you can stick anywhere you need them. Need to leave a message for a family member? Slap a sticky note on the fridge. Want to mark the expiration date on a package of food? Sticky note to the rescue. Need to quickly jot down a thought or idea? You guessed it, sticky note time. Their small size makes them incredibly versatile. You can stick them on storage containers, shelves, doors, even on your clothing in a pinch. And because they're removable, you can easily reposition them as needed. Plus, they come in all sorts of colors and sizes, so you can create a visual system for your reminders. Use different colors for different categories, or write in different colored inks to make your notes stand out. Don't underestimate the humble sticky note, it might just be the organizational tool you never knew you needed. So there you have it, a closer look at the essential office supplies every prepper needs. Because in a grid-down situation, it's not just about having the right gear, it's about being organized, informed, and able to access what you need, when you need it. From label makers and binders to notebooks and sticky notes, these often overlooked items can make a world of difference in your preparedness efforts. So make sure to stock up and incorporate them into your prepper planning. What are your go-to office supplies for prepping? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more prepper tips and tricks. Until next time, stay safe and stay prepared.